Scenario for you. It's 2 in the morning. You have work tomorrow. You're a grown ass man. You are fully aware you have work tomorrow. But for some reason, you're sitting there in your underwear watching another grown man argue with a police officer about the fact that he doesn't own a lawnmower, yet he's trying to pawn it for crystal meth money. And then he's about to steal the police car and then crash into a Walmart parking lot where the cop will find meth in his pocket, a gun in his back pocket, and a kidnapped 12-year-old in the back of his truck. Also, after he goes to jail, they find in his stomach the contents of a safe which has all the fucking, I don't know, national treasure combinations that he stole from a liquor store while in 2006, while he was on the run for a warrant for an alien invasion where he stormed Area 51, and all he found was a ray gun that made his dick smaller. You're probably asking yourself, Myles, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about what millions of people do every single night, which is they watch insane, wacky, deliberately crazy, fucking manufactured, insane, did I say insane? Body cam footage. I'm talking the shit that you should not be fully invested in, but for some reason you're fully invested in. You're watching a teenager throw his life away on the last day of his free life after he stole $10,000 from working behind the counter of a TJ Maxx, and you're sitting there eating popcorn with your girlfriend like, holy shit, I can't wait to see how this turns out. You think that's crazy? You think that's wild? If that's you, this video has found you, is located you, is assessed you, is understood something about you before you understood it about yourself. It's presented you the exact kind of chaos that your brain was already looking for. See, you thought you were watching something and you're like, oh, this makes me seem crazy. Yeah, and you think I'm not normal for watching this. I'm a sociopath. I'm a psychopath. Why am I obsessed with body cam footage? Here's the thing. You're not alone. Okay, you're not alone. Millions upon billions upon people love body cam footage. You have Cold Blue Cam, my personal favorite. You have Midwest Safety. You have Police Activity. You have I'm Tyler. This is your daily dose of crime. You have all these freaking guys that are doing these body cam footage. So the question is not why the algorithm forced it to you. The question is why millions of people repeatedly return to footage of strangers having the worst moments of their entire lives, and more importantly, having their God-fearing fucking freedoms taken away from them with the stupidest decision of all time. Today on the Toe Show, we're trying to understand the science behind why body cam footage is so popular and why you are addicted to it, and why dinner with your girlfriend seems lame if YouTube's not up and a guy in a fucking 14-wheeler isn't doing a fucking DUI test and having his kids taken away during a custody battle while he pulls a gun on his ex-wife. That sounds like an actual video title. Listen, guys, this is the Toe Show. I'm Myles Toe. Let's do it. Here's the thing. I want to start by saying I am not exempt from this. And also I'm reading because I'm a way better reader than I am talker, because I tend to talk too fast, as you can tell. So I'm going to read just to slow it down, but I am going to pay attention for you guys up there. I'm going to say this. I am not exempt to this. I've spent like millions of hours watching interrogation footage of like murders that, like, if I told a girl on a first date, she'd be like, this guy should be arrested immediately. Like, this guy needs to be on some kind of witch. I will sit and watch a guy say, I don't know nothing for 45 minutes straight. And he'll be covered in the victim's blood. And I will sit there and be like, is he going to go to jail or not? I'll sit there, and I love true crime. It's honestly the whitest thing about me. And I know a lot of white things, but true crime love is the whitest things about me. It's one of the only things me and a white girl will have at fucking like brunch we'll talk about. We'll sit there and be like, did you see the one where they cut its head off? That's going to be me, you know? And the thing is, though, it's different than traditional entertainment. And the thing that distinguishes itself from traditional entertainment is that it's real, right? Like the Kardashians, that's pre-production value. That's someone being like, hey, why don't you fucking put your ass against this washing machine and then turn it on and then tell Chloe she's a bitch. That's someone did that already, right? You watch, remember Lizard Lick Towing? Lizard Lick Towing was the fakest bullshit in the entire world. Even the Jerry Springer show, they already told contestants to act crazy. But the thing is, though, body cam footage is real. And because it's real, and our minds know it's real, it activates multiple cognitive systems simultaneously. right? Systems that were not designed for entertainment, but for survival, threat detection, and social analysis. Right? Empirical research indicates that. Wow, I just did like the nerdiest thing in the world. Now, I'm so sorry. I did like the empirical research. Ugh, I fucking hate myself. Let's start again. I'm gonna say like a real nigga. Empirical research indicates that this behavior can be explained through four interacting mechanisms. Right? First, morbid curiosity. And again, I'm apologize for my Baltimore accent. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland. Morbid curiosity, a stable. See, here it is right there. A stable motivational trait that drives individuals toward information about threatening stimuli. Second, the activation of the dopaminergic reward system, basically your dopamine reward system, meaning your brain is literally reinforcing the act of choosing to engage with negative content. And third, the resolution of uncertainty, often referred to as the Pandora effect, where not knowing becomes more psychologically uncomfortable than knowing something's bad. And fourth, perceptual bias created by first-person camera perspective, which quietly manipulates how you assign blame, intent, and meaning to what you're watching. Ha 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 ha. That's what we're going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you why your dumbass loves body cam footage. Section 1, morbid curiosity. The first mechanism is called morbid curiosity. And this is where things stop being a joke and start being really uncomfortable, right? See, morbid curiosity, it's not a disorder. It's not like a glitch. It's not something you develop from like being online too much and watching too much porn. It's actually a measurable, stable, motivational trait, right? And you're probably going to think it's like the reason why Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer started putting fucking holes through people's heads. That's not the reason why. Morbid curiosity, it's more something that evolutionary response that you have since you were younger, right? Think about this. The primary researcher in this area, his name is Dr. Carlton Scrivener. He already sounds like a fucking morbid guy. Scrivener? He doesn't sound like a fucking nice guy to hang out with. I'm not bringing Scrivener to the family dinner. Okay, Scrivener is going to talk about dead bodies. It's not going to be likable, you know? But he developed what is known as the morbid curiosity scale, right? In controlled studies published in Personality and Individual Differences, participants were given repeated choices between neutral stimuli and stimuli depicting violence, injury, or threat. I would love to be a part of that fucking test. I don't know what they would have shown me, but I would not have reacted. Can you imagine a guy who's literally has been on 4chan since he was a kid, or during that test, they think that guy's a fucking psycho. Sorry. And what they found is that people did not avoid the negative images. The disturbing images, in fact, were selected more consistently and predictably in the test. Consistently and predictably. And when the test was conducted again, they made the same choices, which means it's not a temporary mood, it's a trait. Bring it down to you non-scientific nerds. Essentially, he had a study where he showed, let's just say, pictures of puppies and also pictures of fucking something horrible, like a Chaperone concert. And for some reason, everyone picked the Chaperone concert. And now the Chaperone concert, it's not Chaperone. We're not talking shit about Chaperone. I'm just saying she's a horrible artist and she shouldn't be listened to. What I am saying is that over these nice, cute, I'm talking like cute, husky puppies, like the one that just came out, they're covered in placenta. They're still fucking licking their mom's pussy juice off their fucking face. And then they had a picture of like, I don't know, what's like the worst thing you could think of? Like fucking, slavery. But like, it's like slavery, but like worse than slavery. It's imagine slavery, but it's like at a Taylor Swift concert. I don't know why I'm keep doing like these pop star references. And I also, a Taylor Swift concert slavery event would be literally the worst place on earth. It'd be the worst. Can you imagine getting auctioned off while Taylor Swift is singing in the background? The worst would be if Taylor Swift was auctioning you off while she's singing. And I don't even want to do the bit because I don't know what Taylor Swift song. What's that song? Shake it off, shake it off. It'd be auction off, auction off. He's got his teeth. He's got a strong back. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, we're going back. Sorry, I get it focused. But they have found that people were more likely, repeated tests, to always look at the morbid than over the nice neutral stimuli. And the reason is why. I'll tell you why next. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes perfect sense because it comes from something that is deeply unsettling. Organisms that ignore threats die. Organisms that study threats survive. Right? Scrivener connects that to he connects us to Scrivener connects us to what is called predatory inspection behavior. You ever seen FBI, like female body inspector? There's predatory inspection behavior, PIB, right? And the PIB, this is where animals will approach a predator, not attack, not flee, but to observe, gather information, and to understand what they're dealing with, right? For most animals, that's the most dangerous shit you can ever do in your entire life. Can you imagine like a squirrel sitting behind a snake being like, I wonder if he'll bite me? Or like a fucking fish swimming behind a shark, like, let me learn his technique. Let me see how, let's see his like, see his movement, right? But for us humans, we can't go to O Block and like, let me see what these niggas are up to. We can't go to Rikers Island and sit there and be like, let me see what these guys are doing. Let me take notes and observe. No, I don't want to go to jail. I just want to sit in the cell and see what inmate number 1475 is doing, just so I can assess his threat level. We can't do that. We can't go out in the nature. I mean, it would be incredibly stupid if you wanted to like test people actually do it, which say die every day. To go out in the nature and be like, let me assess the threat of like a shark. I'm going to swim with these sharks to see how dangerous they are, and then you come back and you loose your arm. You're like, oh, I assessed the threat. It's literally danger level 1, meaning I have one arm left. So that's where we're at now. But we, as humans, as smart brain having individuals, we found a workaround. And the workaround is something very lazy, what we like to call media. What you're having here. Some of you white people right now are assessing this black threat. And guess what? I'm not a threat to you. Look at my wall. That's art, bitches. There's nothing dangerous about that, except for the fact that I might have sex with your daughter, and that's not dangerous. That's called love. Stop. I gotta stay focused. Now, as humans, we can actually engage in PIB behavior, which is predatory inspection behavior, from the comfort of your couch, which means no risk, no consequence, and no immediate cost. And your brain is still running the ancient software, which means you're still paying attention, you're still observing, you're still developing predetermined biases when you're watching these body cam footage, which to me is so interesting. You're essentially developing a cognitive process from the comfort of your home. And explains a lot. I mean, think about it, right? You have all these like weird like Fox News guys. They're like, you have people like stuck in like Midwest, and they're sitting at home, and all they're doing is watching all these videos like New York going crazy. They sit and watch New York crime. They watch New York fucking robbery. They watch some guy on a subway getting shot. We know that happens. Live in New York. It does happen, but not as often as you think. But if you're constantly doing that, you create a predetermined bias in your head. And you then develop a threat level about New York that comes from you're constantly watching the negative stimuli, which makes sense that people have such a fucking predetermined notion to certain things when they're obsessively watching it. If you're obsessively watching the negative, when you see that thing, you will assume the negative. Now, we can go into predetermined bias or prejudices. Once for a little day. Let's understand why you do this like physically. Your brain is literally rewarding you for this behavior. There's a study that was published in Scientific Reports where participants were placed in an fMRI scanner, a functional magnetic resonance imaging. Smart. It was given a choice between viewing neutral images or negative images. And when participants actively chose to view the negative images, researchers observed increased activation in the striatum, it's somewhere up here, the inferior frontal gyrus, pronounced gyrus, and the anterior insula, which are not the fear centers. They are the reward-related regions. These are part of the dopamine systems. Essentially, the system that activates when you receive food, money, some sort of achievement. Basically, what it is, when you look at negative content, your body rewards you, which is fucking weird. Isn't that weird? Your brain literally likes to be like Ted Bundy. Is that shocking? Your brain wants to see dead bodies over puppies. I don't know why that is. Look, it literally like your brain says, and it says like, hey, you chose to expose yourself to a potential threat. Good job. Which it makes a lot of sense why people love like fucking like dangerous situations, like adrenaline junkies. I think if you're depressed, your brain wants you to put yourself in potential dangerous situations where there are threat levels, where you can assess the threats and you'll be rewarded for you. This is Myles Toe's message to you right now. If you have depression and you are sad, go outside, find the nearest, biggest fucking black person you can find. Maybe the nearest, biggest Spanish person. Just whatever race you are, the opposite of your race, the one you're most afraid of, and it's okay to be afraid of races. We all are sometimes. Find that, look at their threat level, and then go hang out in that neighborhood. You will feel happy. You will literally feel like you got money. You feel like you got food. And guess what? You will be rewarded. Your body will reward you. Your brain will literally give you copious amounts of dopamine. Now, you may get shot and die, but guess what? The reward for the dopamine? Momentary happiness, baby. That's what you want. You want momentary happiness. You don't want to live forever. We're not in here for the long run. We're in here for the short dopamine run. You know, the run in which you get little bits of dopamine. It's better than jerking off. It's better than jerking off. Better than jerking off. Okay. Now we're going into section 3, uncertainty and the Pandora effect. See, the Pandora effect is this thing. It's a study made by Chris Shea and Bowen Ruan. It demonstrates that individuals will choose to obtain information even when they know that that information will make them feel worse. So if I break up with you, it was your choice, which is weird. That's like this. Like, people go like, I got some good news and bad news, and most people go like bad news first. There's literally a scientific reason why. Interesting. The real reason is very simple. It's that not knowing is more uncomfortable than knowing something that's bad. Meaning, if your girl thought you were cheating on her, right, and she didn't know whether you're cheating on her or not, she'd rather know you were cheating than not know at all, because that's more uncomfortable. So fellas, tell your girl you're doing the wrong thing, because she'll be less uncomfortable if you just say nothing at all. Moving on. Here's the thing, right? Think about the Pandora effect. It, like Pandora's box, it cannot be closed. We all play God of War, right? You know what happens when you Pandora. We've all played God of War. We know what happens when you open Pandora's box. Pandemonium comes out. It's just a lot of chaos. It's just right. Once you start a body cam footage, you have to see it play out through, because that's an incomplete narrative. Your brain has to fucking finish the process. Incomplete narratives create cognitive tension. So you stay because it feels good and because you want to finish the process. Now, here's the part in which Fox News doesn't want to fucking acknowledge: perceptual bias in camera perspective. Now, here's the part that should bother you, right? Researchers published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences by Turner, Caruso, and Roos demonstrated that camera perspective alone can significantly alter how people assign blame and interpret events. Participants were shown identical scenarios from different perspectives. When viewed through the body camera footage, participants were more likely to side with the officer, assign less blame to the officer, and perceive the subject as more responsible. Hey man, I'm gonna leave that right. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm not gonna say how I feel at all. I'm gonna leave that right there. You guys just, whatever you think about that, just put that nugget in your butt and just eat it. This is explained through illusionary causation, a concept first identified by Taylor and Fisk and later explained by Dr. Lasseter. Illusionary causation refers to the tendency to attribute causality to the most visually dominant element in a scene. So, if we can see, like for example, you're looking at me right now. If something bad happened, you probably would blame me because I'm the most visually dominant thing in the video. But let's just say I put an elephant here, and the elephant got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. This elephant, you'd be like, this is the problem, this is the cause. It's the elephant in the room. Even when participants were explicitly told about this bias, it did not change their judgment. You subconsciously pick the side of the most dominant figure on stage. So essentially, what that means, if the body cam footage shows the perception of the officer, and you see the thing in front of you, you automatically assign blame to the thing in front of you because you are taking the PIV of the person. You're looking through the lens and be like, that thing's the problem because it's the most dominant thing on stage. I say on stage because I'm a comic, but Now here's the thing. There's another thing that we always talk about. Remember their JC psychology? I think it was called JC psychology. It was like the interrogation, JC interrogation, something like that. It was amazing, dude. I would sit for fucking hours on my lunch break and just watch someone just babble, just be like, and just watch a cop being like, you fucked up, right? You know you fucked up, right? You know you fucked up, right? Like for hours, right? And interrogation footage is where all your systems, the cognitive systems I was talking about this entire video, it kind of comes together in this like peak, right? Because according to Scrivener's research, who's not invited to the dinner party, the strongest component of morbid curiosity is not violence. It's the desire to understand the minds of dangerous individuals, which is why we're obsessed with like Ted Bundy. We're obsessed with making or fucking Zach. What's his name? Zach Galifianakis. Fucking who's the guy from High School Musical? I don't know. Zach something. I just know him from High School Musical. Pretend to be a serial killer. Fucking the guy from Sons of Anarchy was a serial killer. Would like make these serial killers like hot white guys, which the greatest serial killer of all time is Samuel Little. Shout out to him. Shout out to Samuel Little, the most prolific black serial killer of all time. I'm gonna do a video on him because he was the most prolific black serial killer of all time. Shout out to him, right? The strongest component is understanding someone's mind, a psychologically dangerous individual's minds, right? You are watching someone attempt to maintain a constructed reality under pressure while another person systematically dismantles it. And deception, from a cognitive standpoint, is extremely demanding, right? It requires the individual to fabricate information, suppress truthful responses, monitor consistency, and adapt in real time, which that's super hard. I mean, that's what most comedians do on a daily basis. We just lie in a story, and then if someone questions it, we just keep making it up. I mean, it's essentially improv, but the end result of the improv is not making the audience laugh. It's 45 years to life, essentially, right? The reason why we love to watch the reason why we love to watch interrogation footage is because it creates observable patterns, increase response latency, reduce specificity, reduce specificity. I cannot say that word. It's reduce specific information. Let's do that. It creates observable patterns, increase response latency, reduce specific information, inconsistencies across statements, and which your brain, without formal training, is highly sensitive to. So essentially, every time you watch a show, you turn to a little detective. Little Sherlock Holmes, you. Look at you, little Watson. Look at you, little Watson, solving that mystery. Look at you solving that mystery, little Watson, I mean, you're analyzing, you're predicting, you're waiting for the moment where the whole system falls apart, which is why you will literally sit and watch two people in a room talk for hours because you're, in a sense, sitting there with the information, and you are part of the informed minority because you know what he did, what happened. You're looking at the uninformed minority, which is a person who, well, technically, I guess the cop would be the uninformed minority, and you were hoping that the cop gains the information which you already have, and if it pays off, you'll be rewarded, and if not, you're gonna yell at your YouTube and get angry and say racial slurs like we all do, So now let's all put this together. Let's all make it connect and collab, right? You have an involved system that drives you to seek out information about danger, right? You have a reward system that reinforces the act of choosing to engage in information. You have a cognitive bias that prevents you from tolerating unresolved uncertainty. You have a visual structure that quietly manipulates how you interpret what you're seeing. And then you add on one more layer, this thing called benign masochism. is described by psychologist Paul Rosen, which refers to the human tendency to derive enjoyment from negative experiences when they are perceived as safe, which is the most you're a fucking soft asshole thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. That is the most like Jesus fucking Christ, what a dick asshole thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It basically means that you like when people are in pain when you are not. That's the most like fucking silver spoon asshole thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insanity. I mean, essentially, if I was right now getting beat up, you would watch me get beat up, knowing that you weren't getting beat up, and I'm surprised you wouldn't help me, and that's fucked up, man. It's a fucked up thing to do, man. Your body reacts right as if the threat is real. Your attention sharpens, your emotional system activates, your brain is fully engaged, but at the same time, you are aware that you are not actually in danger. So, if I were to go like, I'm going to fucking stab you right now, I'm going to fucking stab you, you know I can't stab you through a screen, not until the technology comes out. But when the technologies come out, I'm going to cut you. That's the thing. It's nice to experience that. People like fucking love to experience that when they're not in danger, you know? You get to have the full experience of the threat with like the fucking dopamine receptors firing off, but your brain registers that right now you're safe. You know, and that's insane to me. That's insane. You know, that right now you can watch someone have the worst day of their entire life, fucking do something horrible and dangerous. Watch it play out in your neighborhood. But as long as you're on your couch, on your bed, on your chair, and you got your little popcorn and your girlfriend next to you, you're like, this is fucking comfortable. I feel fine. Shame on you. Go out there and experience life yourself. Go rob a liquor store if you're about it. You want that real threat assessment? You want that real life feeling? Go rob a liquor store, get a gun, high speed crash, do the whole thing. You know? Do the whole thing. Experience life in the fullest. So here's the thing. In conclusion, why do you like body cam footage? You're not broken. You're actually functioning exactly as designed. It doesn't mean you're not neutral. I mean, you are watching something that is real. You're taking in information that's literally making you biased towards whatever group that you are watching or whatever predetermined biases, social or whatnot that is involved in watching these videos. You are becoming a slightly more racist, slightly more socioeconomically prejudiced, and slightly more whatever thing you're watching, bad person. And you have to remember this. They're real people, real situations, and these are real moments of escalation, fear, confusion, loss of control. And your body can't tell the difference. So when you're watching this, you are just taking in this threat level, assessing it, and rewarding yourself. So essentially, you're a glutton. The reason why you like body cam footage is because you are psychologically a glutton. You like to enjoy danger from your couch. You like to fucking watch someone go through pain because you're a masochist. And you want to fucking confirm the bias that you already have for this individual. Does that make you a bad person? No. Does it make you a good person? No. Am I ever going to stop watching it? No. I'm probably going to quit this video and watch a guy get arrested 10 minutes from now. I think I'm going to do that right the fuck now after I make this video. My thing is this. If you are finding that you are an anxious person and you are getting very, very fucking weirded out in life and you feel a little nervous, a little psychotic, you're assessing threats all around you and you feel that people around you are out to get you, probably the best thing to do is not watch body cam footage. In fact, you should probably watch Puppies. Something better. But things is like your brain will always reward you for watching that negative thing, confirming that bias and confirming that uncertainty and finishing that script, that whodunit. Because we all love the whodunit. So next time you're watching body cam footage, police activity, cold blue cam, and some guy from Wisconsin is overtoning a fucking 14-wheeler truck, another lady is fucking snorting meth, or a guy fucking overdosed on fentanyl while they're trying to give him CPR after he murdered his 3 kids and his wife, just know that you're the bad person. And that the only way to solve this is to go out in the real world and do bad things. I think that's the conclusion. The conclusion is this: it's not good to watch people go through pain. Go through the pain yourself. Go out there and do the bad things. Experience what they're experiencing. And guess what? Someone else will watch you get arrested, and then we'll tell that person, go out there and do something bad. And if we all together, a chain of emotion, tell each other, go out there, experience the bad thing, do a bad thing, eventually we'll all be outside, and there will be no longer needed for threat assessment because we are all the threats. I hope that made no sense to anybody. Listen, man, that's it. 30 minutes of nonsense. I just want to do that. I know I talk fast. I apologize. I need to slow down. Next time I will go over this. Next time we're going to talk about Samuel Little. That's why I decided Samuel Little, the most prolific black serial killer of all time, because his story is hilarious. He got caught by like a white woman doing like a newscast who like he kept telling people like, yo, I'm a giant murderer, and they were like, no the fuck you're not. You're just a bitch. But yeah, he was the most prolific serial killer of all time, better than Ted Bundy, better than Jeffrey Dahmer, and he was black. So stay tuned for next week. I'm going to try to get that done quicker. Maybe it can come out this week, to be honest. I'm off work. So thank you for watching. This has been The Toe Show. I'm Myles Toe. Stay 10 toes down and follow me on my socials. Like and subscribe. It helps out so much. I love you guys so much. Deuces, bitch.